Here's another question. Says Kevin, for those of us working corporate jobs, what are the benefits of being married versus single, and how can you use being married to your advantage? Thanks. Can't wait for this one-on-one. That is an excellent question.
The advantage of being married is you actually there is a ceiling on bachelor men.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. There's a marriage ceiling. That's why if you look at middle management, if you're not planning on going into middle, upper, or executive management, then marriage is not something that's going to greatly benefit you in corporate America. But let's say you're planning on going into at least regional, middle, upper, or executive management. Your wife can help you with other executives' wives.
That's
at
right.
the company parties, at the functions. Right. See, there's a lot of stuff that single men don't do. You don't get invited to the boss's house for dinner.
That's right.
Because you're coming without anybody. You don't get invited to, the ski to play golf while the wives are at the country
tennis.
club.
Yeah.
Tennis.
Yeah.
Again, and women also, being married also bestows a level of status, responsibility, consistency on men. Plus, they think they can trust you around their wives because they know you're all doing the same thing.
Yes.
Look, these guys don't want to have a single guy around their wives
or daughters. Kevin,
daughters, right?
So, like a lot of these executives are in their 50s and 60s.
Right.
And even if they're in their 30s or maybe in their 40s, guess what? They got 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old daughters who are going to be attracted to men of means. Like, that's just not a good look.
Single men are effectively locked out of upper management.
Wow.
It is better to have, and this is just a very hard reality. And I know people say, well, the modern economy, things have changed. Look.
It's human nature, dude. That's what it is.
It's what it is. And there's psychologically, it is the rare man that gets past age 35 that continues to communicate a level of maturity and development and that kind of stuff. So there are many things. So.
Listen, man, what it comes down to is this. I think what all of that you just said is correct. Here's another thing. Married men don't want single men around their wives, especially if they're red-pilled. Well, if he's an alpha male, he shouldn't have to worry about it. No, if he's an alpha male, he understands this. Listen, I say this all the time, man. What these disingenuous men have to understand is that my woman, Devin, if she knew she could cheat on me and get away with it, she would do it in a New York minute. Of course she was. Stop it. A woman, of course, that's the right answer. A woman, how can I put this? A woman who loves you, I'm trying to think of a way a woman who really, truly loves you, people say, well, if she loves you, she won't cheat on you. Wrong answer. If she loves you, she will never put herself in position to cheat, right? A woman will never put her, if your woman wants to go to the club, then she's ready to cheat on you. Mm-hmm. If she wants to go to a concert with friends, she's ready to cheat on you because she is knowingly putting herself and the relationship at risk.
She's removing the discipline.
There you go. And you said that at the top of the show, man. Mm-hmm. You said that at the top of the show. And a woman who truly loves a man will allow that man to save her from herself. No social media, no bars or clubs, no traveling alone. Well, then I guess you're just not ready for a relationship or you're just not ready to relinquish control.
The discipline.
There you go. And again, you ladies out here say, well, I don't need a man. Okay, that's fine. If you, more power to you. You just need to understand that at some point, you're going to have to realize that you can't be trusted to your own devices. Women need men to protect them from the dangers of the world and all kinds of other kind of stuff. Most of all, women need men to protect them from themselves. Because when women are in sole control of anything, their children, themselves, the dating market, it is a complete shit show. That's what it comes down to.
Dude, I would love for us to sit down and if we could take season 2 of Bear Grylls, The Island.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And just they had men on one island and women on the other island. And dude, I don't even want to spoil it for our audience.
Is it predictably
Well,
predictable?
on the first day, men had already found base camp and they were putting up. On the first day, women had gotten lost.
Oh my
They were
God.
running out of water.
Probably fighting.
By the end of the show, women hadn't elected a leader. They're trying to do everything by a democratic process, and it's like it just shows the difference between men and women because you're just dropped on a deserted island alone. I firmly believe that show had to plant food and things like that around those women because they were going to die. They got rid of one of the only things that they could use to make water. I mean, to make fresh water because they chose to store meat in it and it smelled bad. They saw a
Oh my
pig.
God.
They saw a pig, and they didn't want to kill the pig. And they named the pig Oinky or something. I'm like,
Jesus. You don't name. You give it a name. You give it a soul, right?
dude, I just say watch Bear Grylls season 2 of The Island. Just watch the first 3 or 4 episodes, and you're like,
That's it.
this is golden.
That's the red pill. Big Brandon says, I'm going to need to spar with Kevin Samuels, both in the ring and in life. We'll call it fists and facts. Hard lessons at all angles. Hashtag respect. Hashtag Club TSR. Brandon, his son has all sorts of trophy. Like, I don't know how old his kid is, but I'm pretty sure his son could probably whoop my ass. Like, this kid has all sorts of trophies. He emailed me a picture of all of his son's trophies and medals. I was like, holy shit, man, I might need to hire this kid for security. AJ Taylor, $5 says, men think that, quote, options refer to only women. In reality, he says, your options can be the various things you have going on in your life. Love the show, Don. Very astute observation. Brian Burton, $5, says, listening during my workout, keep doing the Lord's work. T-Boz says, peace. Can you talk about the proper way in order to increase, the proper way to network in order to increase one's value? I guess he's looking for advice for himself. Left Eye and Chili is T-Boz. Wow, he probably doesn't even realize who T-Boz is.
Right. The question's misplaced.
Oh.
Okay. Again, this one I say. You don't network to increase your value. You network to increase the value of other people.
Ooh.
Your value increases as a result.
Okay.
See, when you go into it with, have you ever asked yourself, why did Kevin call me? And this guy calls me from time to time, and he's always telling me stuff.
I never questioned. I'm just glad that you do.
but see, because I saw potential.
Sure.
When I talk with Minister Jap, he's like, I used to wonder, and even it's like, you always pay it forward,
Right.
Because when you're networking to help someone with what you have to understand you're going to get it back.
Right.
But if you're only doing it one for one,
Right.
one for one,
Yeah.
if you stop getting your one back, you'll stop giving.
You start giving it, right.
You'll stop giving, and then you'll start going into other interactions, waiting for people to give before you give. And the energy's all wrong. And I hate to get into the hokey pokey.
Yeah, but that
karmic,
stuff's relevant,
but it's
though,
real.
right?
It's all like, look, man, there is a flow through life, and I'm all about good faith.
Right.
Interactions into good faith. So when I network, when I was in sales, there was a guy named Greg. Greg was the hardest fucking worker I knew. Greg would never close any big accounts because he didn't have the patience. He would go in and he had no funnel. But this guy was the hardest worker. He would go in and he would sell a new account every day from nothing. He would make it happen from nothing. Me, I'm much more methodical. I'm much more calculated.
Mike.
I'm much more calculated.
Okay.
I'm much more methodical. I'm much more calculated.
Okay.
And then what I ended up doing is I ended up getting 80% of my sales number from networking. But Greg was having to go out. If Greg took off, his numbers dipped. I could sit in the office and somebody would phone call, hey, Kevin, I was out at so-and-so and I gave them your number and that told them about you and they're ready to go.
Bingo. There you go. There you go.
It's networking. My success came from my network. So how did I get my success from my network? I found out about the people who I did business with. And I said, I know a great dentist, a great mechanic, a great this and a great that.
How about that?
I started promoting people and I became a connector.
Right.
See, that's really what I want to ultimately do. Watch a Netflix special called The Black Godfather. Ultimately, I want to be a connector behind the scene. I don't want to be the guy in front on the microphone. This is a moment in time in the vehicle, but I want to connect people and put people in place and help orchestrate things.
It's interesting. I didn't realize that this is what I was doing with this one-on-one with Donovan Sharp, and I think subconsciously I was, but I didn't really admit it to myself. Here's the truth, Kevin, and I guess I had to have somebody sort of paint the picture. I'm putting on an event late spring, early summer of 2021. It's going to be in Las Vegas. It's going to be fucking epic. Mm-hmm. I've got Hotep Jesus coming in here on Tuesday. He is already committed to the event, okay? When I flew out Myron Gaines, Terrence Pop, who else was out here? Who were the two guys? Steve the Dean Williams and Lucario, all those guys. I flew you out first class, both ways, right? I put you up in a king suite. I'm flying out Minister Jap, first class, king suite, right? I guess the reason I did that is because you guys are my friends, and I think you guys deserve that kind of treatment. But I guess on the back end, I'm thinking, okay, if I show these guys that I'm willing to put forth the money and the effort, put you guys up in nice digs, do things professionally, you guys will then trust me. Well, hell, if he's this professional, if he's this buttoned up in the small scale operation, what's it going to be like in the spring/summer of 2021? Yeah, sign me up. There's another content creator who I happen to, I love and respect this guy. And he puts on different events, but he doesn't pay anybody speaking fees. What he does is and this isn't a bad thing. I understand the strategy on his part, but he says, look, I'll give you XYZ commission on the number of tickets that you sell, right? That's a good strategy to motivate people to sell tickets, but your speaker should not be responsible for the sale of tickets. Your speakers should be focused on their speech. So when I have guys come out to my event, again, I'm going to fly out first class round trip. I'm going to put you up in first class accommodation, and I'm going to give you a speaking fee. That shows me that I respect your time. If you're going to give up 3 to 4 days of your time, I'm going to make sure that you're compensated for it. Right. Not because I want something on the back end, but as a man, it just seems like the right thing to do. Am I wrong?
No, it's good business because behind the scenes, some of the things I used to say, Donovan, come on, brother, get it up there.
That's one thing you always got me on, man.
Because here's the thing. When you do things, when you have a certain standard, you set the bar, you clear out the bullshit,
right?
Fuck boys and pretenders.
That's right.
If you're not willing to put your money up, here's the reason you're willing to put your money up. Because you're willing to fucking do the work.
Yes, that's right.
You're willing to do the work. Okay, if I spend X dollars to get somebody out here for a couple of hours, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use it to my advantage, and it's going to give me return, short-term, long-term, evergreen. And I'm also putting my standards saying dealing with Donovan is dealing with something at a professional level.
That's right.
It's good fucking business. That's why I tell guys, stop being so goddamn cheap and everything. Right. If you have an abundance mentality, and this is that we start talking about losing money in divorces. Stop being afraid to invest and spend money because it will come back if you're willing to do the work.
Right. Doing the work, to me, it's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. You have to listen, man. Like, I don't know the kind of money we make. Is it white collar? I don't know, but you have to have a blue collar mindset, man. Mark Cuban said this the best, and I'm sure other people have said it, but guys like you and me, entrepreneurs, we're the only people in the world who work 80 hours a week so that we don't have to work 40 hours a week. Yep. And that's what it comes down to. I'm putting in 84 to 96 hours a week. I say this all the time. Devin's got to come and drag my ass out of the studio every day. Hey, get out of there before you freaking have a heart attack and die of stroke or whatever. But that's just kind of the way I'm made. And if I'm going to put my name on something, if I'm going to ask someone else to vouch for me by being in my then dude, you have to make sure that you treat them well. And listen, most content creators will say, "Hey man, I got a show. You want to do a show? All right, I'll set up my camera, whatever the case may be." Okay, that's all well and good, but Kevin, I haven't been turned down by anybody. I had Devin reach out to Hotep Jesus. The dude texted me and said, "Let's do this thing." I was shocked, but now I understand why I haven't been turned down. I recently reached out to Jason Whitlock. This guy used to be on Fox Sports 1. Maybe he reaches out, maybe he doesn't, but I know this. He'll consider the offer, right?
Right.
This is what men have to do, especially black men. Black men don't want to pay nothing. Black men don't want to invest anything. They expect, well, I'm black, you're black, you can come. No. I'm not going to pay you any less because we have the same skin tone. I'm going to show you that I respect your work ethic, and your time by making it worth your while to give up a day and a half, 2-3 days to come out here and run your mouth in my tiny little studio for 2 hours.
I forget the law, but 48 Laws of Power, despise the free lunch, pay full price for everything.
Yes.
Because when you pay full price, you can demand the best.
That's right.
And see, let's say when you have your event next year, if you decide, let's say the going rate for things like that was $500. Let's say you decide to charge $2,000.
Yeah.
A person saying, well, why would I pay $2,000 for something that's normally $500? Well, I've heard that Donovan actually flies people. Well, he pays people.
Yes.
So they're like, well, he's paying some of my favorite people. Oh, yeah, well, it's worth it.
Yes.
There's a reason that there's a Motel 6 and what's the most Bellagio.
Yes. There you go. There it is. That's all right.
Both of them have, showers and beds.
Toilets. Yep. Motel 6 Bellagio. I like that. That's very good.